Hi guys, Ben here. I've not done a video for a couple of weeks, just sort of time commitments, work and other things, sort of going on at the moment. But yeah, I thought I'll do a video on sort of like the most underground sort of cult metal albums that have come out this year. I was tempted to do a sort of my favourite albums of this year so far, given that we've just hit the 6-month period throughout this year. And there's been a lot of great stuff, especially commercial albums. Ghost I've just been listening to recently. Obviously, Judas Priest Firepower I've been listening to since its release. But yeah, I thought I'd do something a little bit different in this video, and that's 5 underground metal albums that are worth checking out. I thought I'd start with a band that I sort of discovered sort of on accident. It's a band called Svolvær, I think that's how it's pronounced. The album It's Hard Not to Have Hope, which is sort of like, I thought they were Scandinavian or something with a name like Svolvær, but they're actually from Bristol, I believe, out of all places. Yeah, I know. But yeah, they're sort of like a post-progressive metal band, but with elements of sort of hardcore punk, a bit of grind in there and stuff. So yeah, if you're big on sort of bands like Converge, but also bands like Alcest as well, which have that proggy sort of clean riffs and stuff like that, it's a perfect sort of combination really. So yeah, and there's tracks called Unpaid Intern, which is very sort of like, a very British sort of regressive sort of song title. Yeah, but a lot of the issues deal with real life sort of like issues. There's a song title on here called Pro Life, which has just got a question mark on the end. So it's all very sort of like elements of hardcore punkiness as well. But yeah, some great sort of like epic post-rocky riffs that could sound like they could be on an ISIS album. And the clean riffs sound very Alcest. There's elements of sort of like early hardcore punk, Lamb of God, Burn the Priest stuff on there as well. So yeah, definitely an album worth checking out. One of my favourite albums this year. And on a record label called Holy Raw Records, which are also quite another couple of great albums they've released this year. But yeah, definitely worth checking this out. And it's Svolvær, It's Hard to Have Hope. Now the other albums I don't actually have physical copies of, just because money constraints and stuff. But another album I like to talk about is Mole. The band's called Mole, M-O-L, and the album's called Jawed, which I think is on Holy Raw Records as well. I'm not kind of sure, but yeah, again, another great post-rock metal band. They're definitely worth checking out. If you're a big fan of Alcest, Svolvær as well. All these sort of bands, ISIS, and all these sort of progressive post-rock bands. There's elements of like Rolo Tomassi in there and stuff like this. Definitely check it out. Another album I've been really enjoying is My Conjurer, another great underground metal record. There's element very sludgy. It sounds pretty much along the lines of Neurosis and early Mastodon, these kind of bands. Very heavy, very doomy. Elements of Sleep as well. But some great sort of clean progressive post riffs chucked in there as well. I think they're on Holy Raw Records as well. I don't know, this record label's chucking out a lot of stuff at the moment. But yeah, My Conjurer, definitely worth checking out. Another album I've enjoyed this first 6 months of this year is Wrong. The ironically named album Feel Great by the band Wrong. This is just straight up sort of hardcore punk, very early 90s. Just think of the band Helmet really, Betty and Unsung. Great hardcore sort of hardcore punk riffage, very groove based riffs. Plenty of screamy, shouty sort of vocals, straight up rock riffs. Great album the whole way through, just listening. Not a great variation, but it is what it is, great hardcore punk record. Some great sick groove riffs that really get stuck in your head. The production's great, the bass is pounding. One of my favourite sort of straight up hardcore punky sort of records this year. And last but not least, my next underground metal album. This album's got a big cult following. There's sort of the names chucked around everywhere. I've listened to their back catalogue, but it's still kind of an underground metal band, just with a massive cult following. And that's Sleep, The Sciences, which I believe was released about 3 weeks ago. But I've listened to it pretty much non-stop since its release, really. Not my favourite album of theirs. I don't think it quite hits the high points that their sort of classic synonymous magnum opus album, Holy Mountain sort of hit. But yeah, definitely check out the band Sleep, particularly Holy Mountain. But their new album called The Sciences is really good, particularly the track Geezer Butler. It's about Giza, Lynn Butler, you know, obviously a reference to the bass player from Sabbath, Geezer Butler. Yeah, great straight up doomy blues bass Sabbath type heavy metal rock, you know, heavy metal really. Very trippy, very psychedelic. You know, there's only a few, 6 tracks on the album maybe, but they're all sort of 5 to 10 minute tracks. You know, some great groove bass riffage, perfect for sort of Sunday listening really, or in the evening. Yeah, but probably one of Sleep's strongest records, just not quite as strong as Holy Mountain really. But yeah, I'm very tempted to buy it. You know, money persists, but yeah, that's my 5 favourite underground metal records of this year so far. So I thought, well, what would you guys like? You know, have you guys got any 5 great underappreciated sort of cult underground metal records that you would sort of recommend, or have you been listening to? So yeah, thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know what stuff you guys have been listening to, you know, in terms of underground bands and stuff that's not sort of getting mainstream attention. And yeah, hopefully next week or throughout the week I'll probably do my 5, or you know, my top 10 albums of this year so far, and that's where you see Judas Priest Firepower, the new Ghost record, which, you know, isn't my favourite, but you know, it's still a really good shit hot sort of record. But yeah, I'll do my 5 my great favourite albums of this year so far probably next week. But yeah, I thought I'd just do a video on something a bit different, not quite mainstream, a bit more underground. So yeah, let me know if you guys have been checking anything out that's sort of not hit the mainstream, you know, that might have slipped my radar. And yeah, I hope you hear from him soon.